Have you ever heard about a pacemaker? A pacemaker is a device that is used to help with the heart's electrical activity. So a human heart has two major components. It has the mechanical part, which includes your heart chambers, the blood flow, and yeah. The second part is the electrical part of your heart, which consists of your conduction system. So the conduction system includes your heart's natural pacemaker, which is the sinoatrial node, which is responsible for the contraction of the heart. What happens then when you have a problem with your heart's natural pacemaker? That's where we come in. So if a patient has an issue in their conduction system resulting in their heart not contracting well, we usually implant pacemakers. So some symptoms that patients usually experience include dizziness, fatigue, weakness, syncope, and palpitations. So when a patient experiences all the symptoms that I've mentioned, we usually do an ECG, which is your electrocardiogram, which gives you a summary of the heart's electrical activity. We then analyze the ECG, and after we have successfully analyzed the ECG and identified the conduction issue, we then implant the pacemaker. So the pacemaker consists of the pulse generator. This is how it looks like. Then this acts as a computer that basically fires electrical impulses. I'm going to show you the second part. This is the lead. This part, this is a timed lead, goes straight into your atria or ventricle, depending on the type of pacemaker. So we have single chamber pacemakers, which have only one lead. It can either go to your atria, which are your top chambers of the heart, or the ventricles, which are the bottom chambers of your heart. So the cardiologist implants this usually in the left or right pectoral fold, implants this, but before this is implanted, they start with a lead. The lead is threaded down the vessel. We usually use the left axillary vein. Some use the subclavian vein. It just depends on the hospital. So after the lead has been successfully threaded to the atria or ventricle, depending on the area that needs pacing in that patient's heart, we then program this device using a programmer, which is like a machine. We tell it that we want it to contract at this rate, and we want it also to record episodes. So let me quickly show you guys how we do the device test. I'm not sure if you can see the screen clearly, but this is the first screen that appears, and usually the ECG is going to be connected to your patient, so you are able to see the rhythm that your patient is on. So you'll see it there, but obviously now we don't have a patient that is connected, so we cannot really see rhythm. So what we do is that we look at the summary screen. So what you do first, you look at the rhythm the patient is in. After you have saw the rhythm and identified the rhythm, you look at the pacing percentages. I'm not sure if you guys can see there, but it'll tell you how much the atriums are being paced, how much the ventricles are being paced, how much the LV is being paced in cases of like CRTP devices that have the leads that are usually used for heart failure patients. So you are also able to look at events, which are your recordings, as I stated, that the pacemaker keeps a record of everything that happens to the patient. Then you are also able to see the implant date. You're able to see the model of the device and the details of the patient. Everything is stored just here. So you can also come here, but obviously this is like a demo. It's not a real interrogation. So you can test your impedance, you can test your thresholds, you can test and see if your patient has intrinsic, which is like their own electrical activity. So that's basically it. We just play around with this. technology is insane, and how it evolves as just a magical story. Behind me, I have some of the oldest devices that were used to pace hearts, and I think the oldest one we have here was invented in 1961, and you can see how big some pacemakers were. But today we have smaller devices, and this, I think, is one of the smallest devices that we implant in our hospital. And if you want to learn more about cardiology, the technology, and all the tests that we do, please do like this video, comment down below, and please don't forget to follow and share the video. My name is Zekukanye, and let's journey together and finish this degree.